Hello, welcome. Here we are today. You'll need your usual tools around you. Have your blanket, a couple blocks, maybe your bolster. I'd like to share just a short passage from The Undiscovered Self by Carl Jung. So just start in deer pose with the feet to the right. So you want your right toes facing the wall behind you, the sole facing the ceiling. Sole of left foot is toward the inner right thigh somewhere. Hips are nice and balanced. Now that can be a little difficult, so maybe close down through the eyes. Start to draw your navel inward and feel your weight push down through your hips. Notice as it distributes to the left side and to the right side. Find your center space as you come back to your navel. Follow your inhale up your spine, all the way up to the space to the crown of the head. And as you hang out there, you feel your chest open up and your shoulders soften. And your exhale allows you to settle into place. Your chin draws gently in toward the throat. Check in with yourself here. Remember, there should be no pain when you're here in your practice. That's not what we're going for. And just observe the messages of the body. So, as I usually do, I pick a passage at random. So just before I hit record today on the class, I just opened up and this is the passage that stood out, and it's much shorter than the one from the other day. So we'll get it all in here. The statistical method shows the facts in the light of the ideal average, but does not give us a picture of their empirical reality. While reflecting an indisputable aspect of reality, it can falsify the actual truth in a most misleading way. This is particularly true of theories which are based on statistics. The distinctive thing about real facts, however, is their individuality. Not to put too fine a point on it, one could say the real picture consists of nothing but exceptions to the rule, and that, in consequence, absolute reality has predominantly the character of irregularity. Isn't that great? I know you want me to read it again, so I will when we get through to the other side. So take your time, nice and easy. Lean to the left so you can undo through your legs and gradually transfer to the other side. Make any little adjustments you need to. Maybe you need more support on this side. Feel the hips settle in. Once again, bring your inner awareness all the way down to your navel. Navel draws into spine and you can feel your weight move down through your hips to the left and to the right. So notice which side feels heavier, probably the right. So balance it out between the sides. Bring your weight a little more left. Find the space where you are centered. Awareness to the navel. Inhale up your spine, come all the way up to the crown. Feel the complete lift through the vertebrae. The chest lifts, the shoulders soften, the exhale releases, and you soften into this space. The statistical method shows the facts in the light of the ideal average, but does not give us a picture of their empirical reality. While reflecting an indisputable aspect of reality, it can falsify the actual truth in a most misleading way. This is particularly true of theories which are based on statistics. The distinctive thing about real facts, however, is their individuality. Not to put too fine a point on it, one could say the real picture consists of nothing but exceptions to the rule, and that, in consequence, absolute reality has predominantly the character of irregularity. So, of course, in other words, things are often far different than we are led to believe. Enjoying another breath in and out here. Then take your time, gently lean over to the right so you can undo your left leg. We're extending both legs forward now. So let's try to have the legs straight. If that is really uncomfortable for you today though, of course, you can have your knees bent and you could use the support of a blanket underneath your knees. We want a tall spine. So if your spine can't be tall here, bend your knees. Your sit bones are pushing down. Hands, let's just rest them on the thighs. Flex your feet. Close your eyes. And reach the crown of your head to the ceiling, just in teeny tiny increments. Feel the weight of your sit bones anchor down and your navel draw in. And perhaps reflect on whatever that passage may have brought up for you. Perhaps you could reflect on anything that's been coming up in life lately where you have perhaps been misled in one way or another. It seemed to make sense, but something inside you deeply led you to believe otherwise. It's important for us to notice when we've been misled so that we can recognize the patterns the next time they arise. We reflect this into our practice as we continue to lengthen the spine and root the hips and draw the navel all the way in. Feel the softening around your shoulders, the lengthening of your legs, the spreading of your toes. Listen to the messages of your body. Not every shift of sensation means that it's pain. Remember how easily the mind can be misled. What may seem to be may not be. So as things come up through our practice today, just observe, is there a story attached to the sensation? Is there a knee-jerk reaction toward the negative or toward a fear-based concept of what might be feeling through your body? Start to observe where you are indeed allowing that misleading to happen. And we all do it. We all do it. There are many, many layers to this. It's a practice. So observe, don't judge, just observe. And let's continue to move through here. So keep your legs nice and strong like you have been. Your spine should feel super tall at this point. Your hands now come down onto the mat just outside your hips. Straighten your arms. Your fingers might want to turn slightly out to the sides. I know mine like to. So you do what you need to do, but press your hands down and keep your heart opening, but also find a bit of softening. Now your hip flexors are doing work here. I promise we'll release them, but keep the work happening by flexing your feet. Now point your toes. Keep your toes pointing. Stay strong in your hips. Turn your fingers to face the back of your mat as you walk the hands behind your hips. Or just back a few more inches. They don't have to come in. Keep them shoulder width. You're strong in your arms. Open your chest more and lift it to the ceiling. Breathe in. As you breathe out, relax your feet. Drag your heels along the mat until your knees are nice and bent. Press your heels down as you slide your hips forward and up as you come into reverse table. So the goal is to find the strengthening through the feet, through the hands, through the glutes. So you can soften in the front side. Try to keep your face relaxed. Feel your weight start to inch forward. Your hips gently start to descend to the heels and slide back and down, nice and easy. Drag your heels forward on the mat to lengthen your legs. Sweep the fingers forward and up to the ceiling as you sit tall. Exhale the hands just behind the head, elbows open to the sides, navel contained in toward the abdomen. Grab the back of your skull and inch it to the ceiling as your shoulders come down, breathing out. Another breath in to get tall. As you exhale, feel your navel draw in and rotate your ribs to the right. So twist. Nice and easy. Move slow. Stay strong and integrous with your movement. Come back to center as you breathe in and rotate to the left as you breathe out. So nice and mindful, but also very strong. And come back to center. Now reach your hands up, breath in. And let your hands rest down onto your legs, breath out. So that could mean your thighs, that could mean your shins. We're not doing a full forward fold, but you might be a tiny hinge forward. Arms stay straight. Now just do a mental check and think about what your body was doing on the twist. So if you found your hips move and your feet shifted when you were twisting, you need to draw more integration in through your legs. So try to keep your legs perfectly strong. And sit up tall, circle your arms. As you exhale, stack the hands behind the head, give yourself some traction, lift your skull gently as your shoulders are down so you feel strong. Elbows are wide. Exhale, twist to the right so your legs don't move, your hips don't move, you're rotating your ribs. Elbows stay wide, and we come back to center. So it doesn't matter how deeply you twist. Go over to the left. It's about making the coordination of the movement. It's not about how deep you go. Now we'll come back to center. Release the hands. Bring them back down onto the legs. Sit tall on a breath in. And on a breath out, walk your hands forward onto your legs wherever you can. If you can grab onto your ankles, grab onto your ankles. Keep your arms straight though. If you can grab the outer edges of your feet, do that. Again, your arms stay straight, so your spine stays straight as well. So get as tall as you can here. Anchor the sit bones down. Feel your chin draw slightly into your throat. Notice how magical that is. Full inhale. As you breathe out, feel your belly button draw in and bend your elbows all the way down, maybe onto your shins or your thighs. And then maybe you can slide the elbows outside the legs and draw the chest to the toes. Your belly touches the thighs first. So we anchor back through the navel to make sure that connection happens. Breathe. Breath should feel easy in and out of the nose. If your breath feels difficult, remember you're going too deeply. We're moving nice and slow here, so take your time. Gently release. Come all the way up. Slide your hands beside your hips. Anchor the palms down. You're nice and tall. You've probably already gained some length in your spine, so awesome. Notice how this is feeling. Point your toes forward. Feel nice and long. Beautiful. Flex your feet. Bring your hands back. Keep your fingers pointing forward though this time. Slide your hands back about 12 inches and bend into your elbows. Feel your ability to pull your weight back. Now you're strong in your hands. Slide your weight back just the tiniest bit and then press up with the hips. Reach your toes forward, point through the toes. Maybe the soles of the feet find the mat. You're in your reverse plank. No need to drop the head back. Just stay strong and focus on the arms and the hips and the toes. Breathe in, breathe out. Get as strong as you can through your legs. It's all about reaching through the legs. And take your time. Flex the feet as you allow the hips to slide back down. You sit tall, hands on the thighs. Breathe in and out. Check in with your heart rate. Beautiful. From here, slide your hands back behind your hips just a couple inches or so. And then slide them back a little more. Let yourself lean back and lower one elbow down at a time. Slide your hands towards your hips. So elbows are down, chest lifts. Really work the action of your chest getting taller to the ceiling. And notice how you can anchor your elbows down. Enjoy that connection. Point your toes. Keep arching through the upper back. You might feel this through the mid back as well, even through the waistline. Now flex your feet. Drag your heels inward. Press into your heels to slide the hips slightly forward and up. So you're in a baby reverse table. Press your elbows down. Press your heels down. Pelvis lifts up. Soften your face. And take your time. Nice and easy. Lower the hips down to the ground. Let your knees draw in so your feet are off the ground. Feet slide forward so they're hovering. They push forward and you float your elbows up. So you're in a supported boat pose. You can slide your hands back so this feels a little easier. Then lengthen your legs, reach the toes up. Bend the knees, parallel, and reach, and bend. Point the toes when you reach, flex the feet when you bend. 2 more times, up, and bend. Keep your chest lifting, lengthen, and bend. Beautiful. Lower your heels down to the mat Sit up, bring your hands to your ankles, draw the heels into the perineum, let your knees open wide. So we're in Baddha Konasana here. Feel your chest draw forward as your elbows pull back. Breathe in, breathe out. And just let your upper body round here. Look toward your belly button. Breathe in, breathe out. And inhale, come all the way up. Use your hands to close through your knees. Lean back, walk your toes in, slide your hands behind your knees. Float the heels, calves are parallel to the mat. Lift your chest. Now you could hold here or lengthen your legs. You could hold here. You could walk the hands to the ankles or maybe to the feet. And you can keep lifting up. We'll practice this a bit more. So be where you can be without compromising your foundation. Excellent. Now bend through your knees and slowly let the feet come down. Relax over your thighs. Breath in, breath out. Sit all the way up. You can bring the hands behind you or your elbows down, whichever one you prefer. Knees pull in, toes reach up. Draw a circle over to the right and up to the left. 4 more in that direction. Keep the legs together as best as you can, pointing the toes, enjoying the space around your hips and the strengthening in your abs. And then reverse, do 5 the other way. And you can, if you were on your hands, you can switch down to your elbows or vice versa or whatever. So just give yourself enough challenge today. Beautiful. And then nice and easy, legs come back up. We bend through the knees, sit up, relax forward. Breath in, breath out. Awesome. Okay, so we'll sit up. Feet might come a little wider. Elbows come inside the knees. Index and middle fingers wrap around the big toes. Heels pull in. Hang on to your toes and let the heels hover. Push your thumbs into your big toenails. Now you're going to stay in the space that allows you to maintain a tall spine and an open heart. So you can stay here, feel tension between your fingers and toes. And as you maintain that tension, your heart lifts and you can start to maybe hover the calves parallel. Maybe work the legs straight. You'd work the big toes to almost touching here. And pause wherever you need to be. But your arms are long and strong, your chest is open. You can feel a sense of strength, but also softening. Your breath is easy. And we move slowly to come all the way back to where we started with the heels on the mat. Release and relax. Roll yourself up. Sweep the feet around to one side or roll over your shins and come forward in a tabletop pose. Gently just draw 3 circles in one direction with your hips, and then do 3 the other way. We'll come into stillness. Draw the right knee out to the right, little puppy, big fire hydrant. Keep your arms straight and strong. Fingers are grounded down. Lengthen your right leg over to the right, so reach the foot over. Right foot comes down to the mat, upper body comes up, left hand reaches up and over to the right. Nice and easy. Come all the way up. Left hand comes forward and or to the side and down. Right leg floats up. Right hand can reach up. Right knee bends as you bring the heel to your bum. Right hand could come back to touch the ankle, and you open your chest. You could look down to the mat or look forward. Then take your time, release your grip, let your right leg come down, your upper body just tilts up so you're on your knees. Bring your hands to your lower back, elbows draw together, chest lifts up, just a tiny little camel pose, little back bend. Keep your hips gently going a bit forward and slowly come all the way up. Belly pulls in as we bring the hands back down with control. Knees are under the hips, just double check. Left knee then opens out to the left. Long and strong through the arms. Do your best. Left leg reaches out. Beautiful. And we'll bring the left foot down. Upper body floats up. Left hand to left leg. Right hand reaches up and over. And just enjoy that space here. With control, we come all the way up, over and down to the right, left hand to ceiling, left leg floats up. It's really all one big movement, but you can go as slow as you like. Left knee bends, heel toward the bum, left hand could grab the ankle or not, and be here. Full breath in. Then as you breathe out, you could release the left side, let the knee come down, you tilt your body up, hands come back to the lower back. Feel your chest lift up and find a lovely little back bend here. Full inhale. And exhale, let's come all the way up. Sit your hips back and onto your heels. And then open your heels up so your hips can sit between them. Big toes touch, knees face forward. Hands are on the thighs. Breathe all the way in and all the way out. Let your chin come down to your chest. Roll right ear to right shoulder. Roll back to center, left ear to left shoulder. And do that 2 more times each side. Roll to the right and left. And right. And left. We'll come back to center and up neutral with the spine. Complete breath in As we exhale, let's bring the hands forward into table. Hips come away from the heels. Tuck your toes. Downward dog. Hips come up and back. Feel the length through your whole body here as best as you can. Focus on your arms. Then focus toward your belly, pulling your hips back in space. Then focus on your legs getting longer as you draw your heels toward the mat. Your navel draws up even more and your heels get closer to the floor. You'll get closer and closer to that space where you feel like you're lengthening here and you can tap into it being a resting pose. Few more breath cycles. Make it as easy to be here as you can. And take your time. Let the knees find their way back down to the ground. Nice and smooth. Right foot comes forward. So shifting into a lunge. And of course, if you need your blanket under your knee, please do that. Have a block with you. And just slide the block toward your outer right hip on the ground. So it's like basically in line with your left knee over to the right. Your fingers are on the mat, you're in your lunge. Left knee walks back, nice and long. And just see how things are feeling here. Let your hip drop down. Maybe even close your eyes so you can feel what's happening deep within the abdomen. And then notice what's happening through the balance of your hips. Let your left palm come down to the mat. Keep your left arm straight. Reach your right fingers straight forward. And keep reaching them forward. Breathe in. On the breath out, start to lift your chest up as you bring your right elbow onto your right leg. Press the elbow down and let the left hand come onto your right wrist. Now press the chest away, then sweep your fingers up and back. Right hand lowers down to your block. Left hand reaches to the right. Breathe in. As you breathe out, the left fingers start to reach forward and down. Your right hand slides inside your right foot. Your belly pulls in, your hips pull back, your right leg lengthens, the toes shine to the ceiling. Keep the sense of your right hip pulling back. Really work the straightening of your right leg. And bend into your right knee. You're in dragon's lunge. You could reach and grab your block and just bring it forward so you can lower your elbows down onto your block. And of course, if that's not possible today, then don't do it. Draw your chest forward. We won't be here for too long. Just observe where you can, again, balance the weight through the sides. And if available, you could bring your elbows down for a couple of breaths, setting the block aside. And then we'll come back up, palms to the mat. If you brought your elbows down, set your block aside, belly pulls in, hips pull back, right leg lengthens, right toes shine to the ceiling. Right hand comes outside right leg, we're on our fingertips again. Slide your right heel forward as you slide your left leg back and find your variation of split pose, whatever comes out today. Make sure that you don't just let your weight dump down into the ground. Keep your back toes tucked and your front toes pointing up. Don't lean to the right. Come right into the middle. Breathe in and out. Press into your fingers, lift your hips. As you pull them back, your front leg drags in, you bend into back leg, and you bring your right knee all the way back and down. Plant your palms, tuck your toes, downward dog. Breath in and out of the nose. Notice how things are really just clearing themselves out. Let's lower the knees. Grab your block, set it just outside your left knee, and then we'll bring our left foot forward. So the block ends up outside your left hip. All right, take your time, right knee walks back, so you're nice and long. Feel the hip sink, hands are either side of the front foot to start. Back toes are tucked or untucked here, you see what you like better. Then plant your right palm and reach your left fingers forward. And just breathe here. Notice those connections. Feel the sense of your left heel almost dragging backwards in space. And nice and easy, we'll slide the left elbow onto the left knee and press into the knee or the leg, and your right hand comes onto the left wrist. Now we're strong here. So we lift the chest a little more and the fingers reach up and back. We find our beautiful low lunge pose. Then we exhale, left hand down onto the block outside left hip, right hand reaches to the left. Beautiful. Right hand starts to reach forward and then comes down. Left hand walks forward. Hips pull back, left leg lengthens, left toes shine to the ceiling. Breathe in and breathe out. We bend back into the left knee, hips sink, grab your block, bring it forward, and then gently let your elbows lower down onto the block. And we'll hang out here. So your left knee is toward your left shoulder. The knee is above the ankle on the left side. Both elbows press evenly into the block as best as you can. Breathe in and out of the nose. Ease the tension out of your jaw. If it's available, you could set your block aside and bring your elbows all the way down for the next few cycles of breath, but it's definitely not necessary. Keep your chest open, chin away from the throat. And come onto your palms. Left hand outside left foot. We're on our fingertips again. Hips pull back in space as we lengthen the left leg, toes shine to the ceiling. You could stay here, and you could also work on sliding the left heel forward and the right leg backward. Being where you can be. Yeah, this side a little tighter for me. See how stuff is different for you. But maintain your alignment as best as you can. Find that sweet, sweet opening as you strengthen. And take your time. Press into the hands to slide your hips back. Your left leg will slide in. Bend into left knee. And bring left knee back to table. And downward dog. Tuck your toes, knees and hips up and back. Breathe in, breathe out. And lower your knees back down to table. Beautiful. So we'll either, like, you could turn widthwise on your mat or not, but you might want a blanket. We're moving into frog pose. Eventually. We have one more thing to do sitting up before we get right into frog. So, but we're set up, and you could be widthwise again on your mat, or you could be lengthwise, but with the blanket across like a T. I have the blanket here for my elbows. So let's start in a wide leg position. You want your knees up and your toes facing the ceiling. And you sit tall. So you might be staying here the whole time. If it's available, you'll start to walk your hands forward. Now, be warned, you can get stuck in this pose, okay? So don't push too hard. Okay, so from here, you could take your palms, scoop them under and back. Your legs also could inch closer together. Okay, if this starts to feel really stressful, start with your heels a little closer together, and you could stay in this kind of position. Okay. Now, from where you're at, you can stay, of course. If it's available and your fingers are reaching back, you can start to slide your heels forward, which will bring your chest to the mat. So that's the mechanics of it, right? Is we're working the pressure through the legs to tilt our body forward and down. But this is also how we can get stuck in this pose. So be kind to yourself and make sure that you don't get lazy through your legs. Now to come out, you got to strengthen your legs, draw the heels in so you can free yourself to come up. Okay, and I know it's tricky. It takes practice. Draw your heels in, give your legs a little shake. Beautiful. Then sweep feet to one side or cross over the shins, come into table. Moving into our frog pose now. We open the knees out wide. Inner edges of the feet are on the mat. We keep the heels and knees aligned, and we keep the hips and the knees aligned. So you're not forward of your hips. That will be the tendency because it makes it feel easier. So don't do that. Sit in the space where it's tense. Keep the hips, again, in line with the knees, not further back either. So once you've found that spot where you're like, yeah, this is it, get a little bit more wide. Inner edges of feet are on the mat. Double check your alignment. And then gently, without altering your alignment, so check it again, but your elbows can come down. And we hang out here. Do a triple check of your alignment. And then hang out. Keep your chin away from your throat to make it easier to breathe. Ease the tension out of your jaw. Be where you can and be where you are without trying to push to the next place. Because the pushing to the next place is just the pattern. That's the mind, right? When we get to the next place, we'll keep pushing to the next place and then the next place. It's a never-ending cycle. So the challenge is to be here now. Is to listen to the wisdom of the moment, is to honor the wisdom of the breath. Notice how much your body has already softened. And nice and easy, start to draw your weight forward until you can easily let your chest lay down. Your chest can lay on your arms, and just one leg at a time, start to inch them straight, eventually just bringing them behind you. So just don't fidget on your mat. Just let yourself move slow to bring your legs back to a neutral place. And then just hang out. Nice and easy. Press your palms onto the mat or the ground and bring yourself into child's pose. Just bring the hips back to your heels. Nice, easy movement. Forehead can come down. And take your time. Come all the way up to a seat. So just make an adjustment here so you can be lengthwise on your mat again. And lay down onto your back. Knees pull in so that they're just stacked over the hips. Shoulder blades are flat. Your right ankle crosses over your left. Your hands are on your knees. And just start to draw circles with your knees. Whatever direction you go is perfect. Just keep going, same direction. Nice, easy, smooth circles. Now go the other way. And come back to center. Cross the ankle, opposite ankle on top, so left one on top. And start to draw circles with the knees. And you might get like little shaking sensations and little twitches through the body here as we move through this stuff. So just know that that's totally fine. It's a good sign that we're releasing some hidden tension. And then go the other way with your circles. Beautiful. Come all the way to stillness. Undo the cross of your ankles. Let the feet come down. And then from here, let your knees open up, but not all the way. So we want to be able to keep the outer edges of the feet on the ground. You could even open your feet a little bit wider. They don't have to touch one another. Arms come down to the sides, shoulder blades flat, and come into bridge pose. So you lift your hips up and you'll press into your feet and lower the hips down. Now you might want to practice walking the feet a little further away and lifting the hips up, and just see how it feels, and come back down. And lift up again, and down. Maybe you want to try the feet further away, heels together, toes apart. Lift up, and down. So if you're working heels together and toes apart, you can eventually find the space where you're almost even straightening your legs. But you do not need to get to that space ever, let alone today. So just find the spot that works for you. Keep lifting up and down. Play with the different positioning of your feet. Play with the different extension of your legs, right? You don't have to have them straighten. So many amazing variations here with this movement. So just keep going, a few more reps. Lifting up, lowering down. Let's do one more. Come all the way down. Bring your feet neutral. And just pause, soles of feet are on the mat. Breathe in and out. Bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees open wide. And we'll see if there's anything that needs to shake out of the body. So start to press the big toes together as you float the knees up like 20%, and then just hold and press them together for 20 seconds. And you might get little shakes and twitches. My legs often have quite a bit of movement in this. So just notice what you notice today. And then we'll just bring ourselves to stillness, even if you were shaking. Draw the belly in, connect your lower back to the mat. So strong through the abdomen. And then draw your knees 20% higher. Push the big toes together and just hold for 20 seconds. And again, if your legs start shaking, that's a good sign that you're releasing some stuff. And the premise, of course, behind this somatic release is that we move in through all kinds of hormonal shifts when we are in a trauma-induced state. And if the body does not have the opportunity to shake that out, it gets stored in the body. And then, well, we can release it like we are right now. But otherwise, it stays stuck inside. So come all the way to stillness. Of course, you can go way deeper with this with the full somatic series. Draw your legs 20% closer together. Hold for 20 seconds. And then come into stillness. And take your time, let the knees fully open up and relax. Breath is in and out of the nose. Bring your arms into a cactus position. Keep your legs as they are. Your shoulder blades are flat. Palms are facing the ceiling. Now bring your left palm to face down. And then switch. Left palm up, right palm down. Just move slow. Focus on the quality of your movement. Switch. Switch. And keep going, but at a nice, slow pace. This is opportunity to refine the movements. Observe if there's tension more on one side or the other. And also, you might notice that you get pulling in your hips somewhere or your legs through this movement. So observe, just find the pathways that are speaking to you in the body. Stay as relaxed as possible with the exception of the movement of your arms. Beautiful. The next time your right palm is down and your left palm is up, just pause there. Relax your jaw. And release. Let your arms relax out to the sides, palms face up. Draw your right heel away from you. Let the leg lengthen out. And then draw the left heel away from you, allowing that leg to lengthen out. The toes are just relaxed out to the sides. You close down through the eyes. Observe your breath as it pulls in through the nose, all the way in and down the back of the throat, down into the lowest parts of the lungs you can find as it expands the belly. And the exhale pulls up the front of the body and out through the nose. Observe the breath as it pulls in, back, and down. And as it circles around to the front and out. Soften the skin on your face. Notice the sensation of your body softening and sinking into the support of the mat. Notice all of the sounds that are happening in the room. Notice all the sounds that are happening outside of the room. Notice the sound of your breath. Soften and sink. Feel your body sink heavier. Observe the space of your third eye without judgment or expectation. Your inner gaze goes slightly upward and inward. Notice what shows up for you. Can you sense your body laying here in space? Connecting to a sense of weightlessness. And then feel your body connect to the earth. Feel the weight of your body. You may even feel a little bit lighter just naturally. Let's breathe in deeply and extend through the arms, reach through the legs. Enjoy a lovely long stretch. And release. Take your time, bend through one leg and then the other. Gradually bring your hands to your knees and your feet off the mat and just rock side to side. Maybe draw circles with the knees together. And do circles the opposite way. And then just rock side to side. And we'll come to stillness. Just give yourself a hug. Maybe the arms wrap a little deeper around the legs. Head and shoulders could even float up if you want to give yourself a little bit more of a hug. And take your time, ease off so you can roll up to a seat. You could roll to a side and press up, whatever feels best. Get comfortable in your seated position. Let's bring palms to heart center. Notice how you're feeling. We have the solstice today as well. So may the sun shine on you. May you feel aligned with the lightness of yourself, and may you shine brightly to the world. Let's draw a complete breath in of love and gratitude into ourselves, and a complete breath out of love and gratitude for everyone else. And thank you for our practice today. Namaste. And I sure hope you feel wonderful. And, let me know if there's questions, comments, concerns. Let me know how it went for you in the comments. And have a wonderful rest of your day. See you again soon. Much love. Thank you all for being here.